Well, good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of FightBackMedia.com, 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 FightBackMediaTV.com. Appreciate you being here this morning. It is a cloudy, rainy morning in West Central Florida. It's about 62 degrees. I know, 62, and I'm going, ooh. Yeah, but it's a wet thing. It's raining, and I don't like it. I prefer the sun be shining. I don't know about you. I live in a sunshine state for a reason. All right, two stories today. Both, well, one fairly disturbing. The first one is that the state of Maryland, for the second year in a row, their legislature has killed a bill known as the Fairness in Girls Sport Bill that would disallow biological males, dudes, from playing girls sports in junior varsity and varsity teams throughout the state. Though 25 other states, half the country, has seen fit to adopt a version of the bill, it hasn't seen the same success in Maryland, where the governor designated March 31st as International Transgender Day of Visibility last year. Now, I'm not really sure how Maryland, which is this big, can declare an International Day of Visibility. That is some that is some chutzpah there, right? So maybe this is why. Maybe even if they pass it, they know that it's dead on arrival at the governor's desk. Anyway, many were at the bill's hearing before the House of Delegates. Ways and Means Committee spoke on its behalf. Representative Barbara Earhart, a Republican from Idaho Falls, who brought the original legislation after which bills like House Bill 47 are modeled, and who added in testimony that Maryland's bill was less restrictive than some of the legislation that had been passed elsewhere. She said this. She said, "I applaud Maryland for trying to narrow down and put this in a very small window, a very small touch, so that we're allowing our girls to have fair competition and a fair chance in starting junior high school and high school. I don't know if you could have a smaller touch in doing this way." Now, I just had a thought. The gender not respected in China are females, and for years, once they found out that you were having a girl because of population or whatever, that you were having a girl, someone who could actually reproduce, then a lot of people had abortions. Millions upon millions of baby girls were murdered in Europe. So this seems to be a variation on a theme. Not that these girls who are participating in sports are being murdered, but they're definitely being put to one side. I don't know how you can say it isn't happening. I don't know how you can say it isn't happening. William Thomas, and others. I don't know how you can say it isn't happening. We saw it happening at a professional level at MMA. We see it happening in high school volleyball. We see it happening everywhere. But what you don't see is the transgendered males deciding to participate in male sports. You don't see them being offensive guards. You know, why is that? Again, like I said the other day, these people know. People know. And they know that they're perpetrating a fraud. And they know that. Either they know in their mind or they know in their spirit. They know that they are perpetrating a fraud. Another supporter of the bill was Kathleen Goonan, an internal medicine specialist. I thought we were supposed to be following the science, follow the experts, who has worked as a volunteer advisor to detransitioners and parents of children wrestling with their gender identity. She sees inherent unfairness in allowing dudes, biological males, to compete in women's sports. Here's what she says. Here's what the science is. Males have an innate biological advantage in sports. Males differentiate from females beginning in pregnancy. And this only accelerates dramatically in adolescence. These advantages involve every physiologic system, Gooden said. She expressed concerns regarding the role of sports play in social gender transition, something that she sees harmful to minors. Allowing boys to participate in girls' sports is a form of social gender transition that creates confusion for everyone involved, and it's not supported by quality medical evidence. It is the first step in the so-called gender affirmation model. European experts in gender medicine are all moving away from this approach. You know, it's funny, like, we're supposed to be following the European model because somehow Europeans have it more together than we do. You know, this inferiority complex that is being perpetrated on the American public is absolutely horrendous. But European experts in gender medicine are all moving away from this approach right now. So, of course, the first person to testify against the bill was a law student from the University of Baltimore, A. Rand, on behalf of a newly formed Trans Law Student Association. If you leave here today, the only thing that's clear to you let it be this: HB 47 is not about fairness. It's not about protecting girls. It's not about equality in sports or anywhere. It gives permission to hate and fear trans people and to act out violently. This is what this person said. We have to start ignoring this sort of hyperbole as ridiculous. We just have to start ignoring it. It is truly about fairness. Boys playing against girls in girls' sports is inherently unfair. And if anything, allowing it to happen builds animosity. It builds animosity. Too many girls have been hurt seriously, physically, by competing against boys. Forget that the number of scholarships and opportunities are dwindling because you have boys participating in girls' sports, setting new records that can never be set by a girl, probably won't be set by a girl in 100 years. This continues to happen. Here's what else. Lee Blender, executive director of Trans Maryland, also testified against the bill, saying it relied on a misunderstanding of science and biology. Now, Lee Blender is the executive director. Doesn't say that Lee is a doctor like the other doctor that I just quoted. It's a misunderstanding of science and biology, and was an openly bigoted act against trans identifying girls. More hyperbole. Says this: we are deeply embarrassed to see Maryland legislators bullying young trans girls today with this discriminatory legislation. More hyperbole. Ignore it. The more hyperbole, the more it gets ignored. You can pick on trans adults if you must, but leave the trans minors alone. Yeah, because that's the ones they want to continue to recruit. Remember? We're not coming after your kids. Remember that? You remember we're not coming after your kids? Coming after your kids. Blender cited an amicus brief from the American Medical Association in support of transgender participation in sports and teams and gender identity. In order for transgender females to live their lives fully in accordance with their gender identity, they must be able to publicly identify and compete in female athletics, the AMA wrote. The AMA has fallen, but we know that. We know that. Several Maryland legislators spoke in defense of the transgender community, which they believe is harmed by the legislation. If you're not some dude trying to swim on the girls' swim team, how are you injured? The only people who are injured are the other girls. If you're not some dude trying to play middle school basketball on the girls' team, how are you injured? You're not. Only the girls you're playing against, and the team you're on, because now you're taking up a space that doesn't belong to you. This is, and they're saying it's affect the effect of mental health of trans kids that bills like this have, even if they don't pass. So just saying. Oh, by the way, you're not a girl. You're a boy. You're not a girl. You're a boy. And no, you may not participate in girl sports. They say they want you to believe that it's even hurting the kids who aren't participating in sports. That's how we know it's hyperbole. That's how we know. That's how we're sure of that the adults have to come back to the table sooner than later. So this is becoming gender affirming care. So we're supposed to just agree to this, to whatever they have wrong, that somehow this boy is now a girl because I feel like a woman, right? And we're just supposed to agree. What if they feel like a I don't know, tree today or tomorrow, or a dinosaur? And they really do think they're a dinosaur. There are school boards dealing with students who believe that they are cats. And what we're supposed to do is affirm that. Affirm that? That's not affirming. That's abuse. Shame on Maryland. I hope you get it together. Or the next wall needs to be around Maryland after they finish building the wall around California, keeping all the nutbags in. We'll be back after this.
What's going on, Tampa? Jeff Dow from JD's Pressure Washing here again, and we wanted to share something really cool with you that we're going to be doing that you can be a part of. Tampa is home to 21,000 veterans. We all love our vets, and being one myself, we wanted to find a way that we could give back. So here's what we're gonna do. For every 10 jobs that we do that are $300 or more, we're gonna do one veteran home for free. Now, when I say home, we're talking house wash, driveway, sidewalks, and perimeter fence if they have one. So I need your help with exposure on this so that we can get the jobs that we need, as well as the veteran homes to clean, which is gonna be a total surprise for them. We're gonna show up, knock on the door, and let them know right then and there in the moment what it is that we're gonna be doing for them. It is gonna be pretty cool. And here's a bonus offer for all of you who help us with this. We're also going to offer 15% off all cleaning that's over $300, just to say thanks. So if you could do me a huge favor, like, comment, and share this video so that we can get the word out and start cleaning homes of veterans right here in Tampa.
All right, you know, it just some of the things that just seem like common sense for a lot of us apparently aren't common sense for all of us. After much discussion and speculation, the Senate bipartisan border bill was released last night. The lead Republican negotiator, Oklahoma's James Lankford, I gotta say Lankford. I worked with a guy, Lankford, way years ago. Published the bill, the full bill text, and I'll put those links in the description box, as well as an executive summary, which I will help you with right here. Let's see if I can get that to come up. It is the Border Security Policy Proposal. The current system is catch and then let them go. Be free. Ding! You may roam around the country. Isn't that a commercial? You may roam around the country. Yeah. The new system is detain and deport. The new border security authorities will put powerful new tools in the border security toolbox of any administration willing to secure the border. It will also set real limits on the current administration to stop the abuse of parole and prevent our nation from ever having 10,000 people a day crossing illegally, or a record month like December 2023. It ends the parole, catch and release fiasco at the border. Supposedly, it ends Biden's use of catch and release through the Border Patrol One app to hand out work permits for free along the southwest border. Did you know that was happening? That work permits are just being handed out. Come on in, get a job. Come on in. And I wonder, we don't know why they're coming here. Well, yeah, they do. They're coming here because not only are they receiving health care, they are getting education. They're getting a job for free. They're getting phones, a place to live. Who wouldn't do that? The change alone will stop over 500,000 border crossings each year. Okay, it mandates a complete shutdown of the border. Before I read this, I'm going to, if I may, interject the problem that we have with our border, what I think the problem is, and our thoughts about immigration. We are, because we have been told, again, they keep telling us these words, we are a nation of immigrants. Well, so is everybody else, pretty much. And so what? The Lawson mandate, the Fight Back Media mandate is this, that we should, for the next 10 years, stop immigration. Stop it. Just stop it. No. We are closed for the next 10 years. And really work on some sort of going back, finding a way to get back to our border security laws that are already in place. Just stop it. Now you're saying illegal immigration? I'm saying all of it. Put up the closed sign. Stop issuing visas. Stop issuing asylum. No, we're closed. The only population increase that we would have when I'm king is by breeding. You can't do that. Yeah, actually, yes, you can. Yes, you can. No, you may not come here. Well, I'm going to call our embassy. Okay. The United States is closed for the next 10 years until we get some stuff sorted out. And if we catch you here and you don't have the proper whatever, then you'll be deported. That's all there is to it. What about coming to visit? And if you overstay, we find that you've overstayed your education visa, your visitor's visa, or you're out. And you can't come back for 10 years. That's what needs to happen. You know, otherwise we're not being serious. Otherwise we're nipping around the edge of it. And according to this executive summary, it says mandate a complete shutdown of the border. creates a new mandatory border emergency authority that will protect our nation from having another month like September, October, November, December of 1923, when more than 10,000 people a day crossed the southern border. Second point, the new border emergency authority is even stronger than Title 42 authority used during the Trump administration because it also includes new legal consequences for anyone who tries to return after being deported. Third one, no more massive caravans of migrants flowing over the border day after day. Number 4, allows law enforcement in America to control the border, not the criminal cartels in Mexico. Number 5, changes the default when the border is overrun from releasing everyone into the country to deporting everyone out of the country. When the average number of crossing exceeds 5,000 people a week, which it has every week, but one in the past 4 months, everyone crossing illegally every day is rapidly deported out of the country without an asylum screening. In the past 4 months, it's almost 1 million people who have crossed our border. 1 million. If this law had been in place 4 months ago, all of them would have been deported out of the country rather than released into the country. When the border closes, it stays closed, and everyone is deported every day until the number of people crossing illegally drops. Once the number of the encounters drop, the border continues to stay closed for up to an additional 2 weeks and continue to drive the numbers down. It closes the border when we exceed our capacity to detain and deport, so no one is released into the U.S. because of the crowd. So you can't be overwhelmed. So when they get there, you gotta go back. Who are you? Pictures, fingerprints, get out. Pictures, fingerprints, eye scans, whatever you need. It imposes immediate consequences for illegal crossing. Removal is carried out in days or weeks, not years. Prevents the administration from handing out work permits for simply crossing at a port of entry. Provides 50,000 detention beds, more ICE agents, more deportation flights, and more asylum officers to keep people from in custody while processing. You don't just get to roam around while you're being processed. No, say right here. If 50,000 beds is not enough to hold people in their processing, a new expedited removal authority is created, which allows for faster processing and fewer appeals outside of the custody in weeks, not years. No more 10-year releases into the U.S. for hearings. And you know that's happening, right? People are getting hearing dates that are 10 years in the future, which means they're not getting hearing dates. They're being allowed into the country. Here's some changes that it proposes in the asylum screening. Prohibits illegal migrants who could have relocated within their home country from being eligible for asylum in the U.S. So people are saying, well, these people are coming from these violent war-torn countries. They could have just gone somewhere else in their own country that doesn't have the same problems. It bars criminal aliens from getting through the first asylum screening at the border. If you're a criminal, sorry about your luck. Bars any alien that resettled or could have resettled in another country on the way to the United States. Raises the standard for evidence of persecution to the higher Trump administration reasonable possibility standard. This alone will dramatically reduce the number of people allowed through the asylum screening process. Combines 3 separate screenings to make the process faster at the border. Credible fear, Convention Against Torture, and withholding of removal. This will quickly send illegal immigrants who do not qualify for asylum back to their home country, instead of being released into the U.S. for seemingly endless appeals and hearings. Each of these changes would reduce dramatically the number of people eligible to even apply for asylum. But together, they will be a powerful tool for any administration willing to enforce the law. It builds a wall. provides $650 million to build and reinforce miles and miles of new border wall. It also withholds a majority of the wall money to be used during the next administration. Now, the idea is, and I saw a video a couple days ago, the wall is 32 feet, so you get a ladder that's 33 feet, right? The idea about a border wall is it's a deterrent. It makes it a little bit more difficult. And the idea is if you can make it a little bit more difficult, that's a good thing. And if you can set up all sort of surveillance equipment, which you can, because you have now you have a wall to do it on, it helps the Border Patrol. What do you think? I'm going to put the link to this PDF in the copying it now so I don't forget, in the description box. I'll also put a link to the entire thing in the description box so you can read it for yourself, so you can share bits and pieces for yourself. So it won't be that you heard it from me, it won't be that you heard it from some puke on Fox News, or you heard it from Clay and Travis, so you read it yourself. You saw it yourself. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.